The flickering candle casts long shadows across the stone walls of a small room, where Maimonides sits, his fingers trembling over a parchment. The half-finished words hang heavy in the air, an unfinished conversation between his soul and the world. Suddenly, a loud crash echoes from outside, drawing him out of his thoughts. A mob forms, chanting with the fervor of righteous indignation. Moses ben Maimon. Heretic. Blasphemer. In that moment, everything crumbles. His works, his reputations, the very beliefs he hoped to reconcile, gone in an instant. He is not just a scholar but a target, a symbol of a philosophical battle raging within the heart of Judaism. The air grows tense, thick with impending violence. How did it come to this, he wonders, heart racing. The very texts meant to enlighten now threaten his life. Inside his mind, memories swirl like a tempest. For years, he had navigated an intricate web woven from the threads of faith and reason. The philosophies of Aristotle had captivated him, enticing him with their logic, while Jewish theology demanded his loyalty to an ancient truth. But as he wrote the guide for the perplexed, he began to feel the weight of expectation. His desire to bridge the gap between rational thought and divine decree was met with skepticism. His contemporaries, fierce defenders of tradition, viewed his attempts as betrayal. The pressure mounted, isolating him in a world that feared change. "Why can't they see?" he mutters, clenching his fists. "I seek not to destroy, but to understand." Enemies lurked in the shadows, eager to exploit any misstep. Scholars questioned his interpretations, while fervent leaders rallied against him. Lines were drawn, and Maimonides stood at the precipice, a lone figure in a storm. The night he penned the first words of his guide felt like stepping onto a battlefield. Each stroke of his quill was a deliberate choice, a calculated risk. Aristotle once said, he began, carefully weaving together threads of ancient wisdom with the fervor of his faith. His mind raced with possibilities, each argument crafted to soothe the troubled souls of his readers. His aim, to liberate them from the chains of doubt, but such liberation came at a formidable cost. He recalls the warning from a friend, filled with trepidation. "You tread dangerous waters, Maimonides. The leaders will not accept your words lightly." And yet, he pressed on, believing in the power of knowledge to transcend fear. It was a decision steeped in hope, yet fraught with peril, igniting a fire he could no longer control. "Balance," he whispered, the single word echoing in his mind like a mantra. If he could create a narrative that harmonized reason and faith, perhaps he could quell the rising tide of dissent. He imagined a world where logic illuminated the path of belief, where questions were met with answers rather than condemnation. But as he constructed his arguments, he could feel the shadows creeping in. Skepticism multiplied, illuminating the chasms between his ideas and orthodoxy. "Will they understand?" he questioned, anxiety gnawing at him. The more he wrote, the more the light of his intentions dimmed under the weight of ancient dogmas. His strategy to enlighten became a flashpoint, igniting anger rather than understanding. The night of the gathering arrived, a clandestine meeting of scholars brimming with anticipation. Maimonides took his place, heart pounding against his chest. The air crackled with tension as he stepped into the dimly lit room filled with wary eyes. "Brothers," he began, his voice steady but laced with an undertone of desperation. "Let us explore the depths of our faith through the lens of reason. Together, we can uncover the truths hidden within sacred texts." Murmurs erupted like thunder, and he could sense the shift, some intrigued, others enraged. Each response sliced through him, doubts creeping in like a shadow across the room. "Your words lead us astray," one cried, rising from his seat. "You would unravel the fabric of our faith." The crowd surged, emotions boiling over. The whispers turned to shouts, and soon he found himself at the center of an ideological cyclone. Each argument countered with fury, each attempt at reasoning faced with rejection. Maimonides pressed on, his voice rising above the chaos, but the door to understanding began to close. In that moment, he was not only fighting for his ideas, he was fighting for his life. Days later, whispers turned to shouts in the streets. A letter had circulated, a betrayal orchestrated by those once thought allies. Accusations of heresy stained his name, sealing his fate. "Moses ben Maimon, the corrupter," they roared, emboldened by the falsehoods. The cries pierced through his heart as he realized his worst fear had come true, his pursuit of enlightenment had been twisted into a weapon against him. "You were meant to be our guide," a former friend spat, face twisted in rage. "Now you have brought shame upon your people." Isolation settled upon him like a shroud. His works, once his voice, became echoes of dissent. The very texts he hoped would heal now fueled his enemies' fire. In that harrowing moment, Maimonides understood the cost of his ambition. The bridge he sought to build had crumbled under the weight of misunderstanding, leaving him stranded in a chasm of despair. As the frenzy abated, and his enemies dispersed, Maimonides found himself alone in the quiet of his chamber. He stared out the window, darkness settling over the city, a stark reminder of his isolation. This was not merely a battle of intellect, it was a struggle of the human spirit. The pursuit of knowledge often invites peril, a lesson carved from the very depths of his being. He thought of the countless scholars who came before him, those who dared to question, only to face the wrath of tradition. He realized that the quest for truth could illuminate, but it could also blind. In pursuit of enlightenment, he gambled everything. It was a gamble not just for himself, but for generations to come, a legacy forged in the crucible of conflict. As he picked up his quill one last time, he understood the fragility of ambition and the resilience of the human spirit. I may be cast out, he scribbled, but my words will endure. For in the end, Maimonides learned that even in the darkest moments, the quest for understanding can be a light, one that may burn brightly through the ages, even if the bearer is left in shadows. In that small room, he transformed his loss into purpose, a reminder that even the most profound truths come at a cost. And as history would show, sometimes a single voice can change the world, even a voice that echoes in silence.